the U.S. government itself admitted that, yes, we are investigating craft and we do not know where they are from. They did not say it is extraterrestrial, but, you know, in a press release, you have to read between the lines.
So be careful about reading between those lines.
Now, please finish. So,
I love that.
Either the U.S. government just admitted that somebody else on this planet has better technology than the U.S. Air Force, which I doubt that they would admit this, or they're pointing to the direction of a non-earthly source.
Within months of the New York Times headline, extraordinary videos associated with am4, featuring 3 separate UFO encounters captured by infrared cameras mounted on Navy jets, were leaked to the public. Skeptics initially suggested the footage was not genuine. In 2020, the Navy officially released the same videos, confirming not only that the footage is real, but also that the objects recorded were in fact unidentified craft.
Well, I've analyzed those videos in detail, and I will tell you that there's no evidence in them that says that it's not our near-peer adversaries like Russia or China. However, if Russia or China invented these devices, whatever they are in these videos, then they are way ahead of us in physics and engineering, and that's something that doesn't add up because you don't see the large multi-billion-dollar efforts to put all the right brains in one
There
location.
isn't the industry going on there that would make them that superior.
So that raises your eyebrow. Whatever the craft is itself is extremely cold, and it looks like there's a vacuum around this vehicle. And then the vehicle makes maneuvers that are so rapid, you would pull so many G-forces that it would kill any occupants almost instantly. I wouldn't call that a smoking gun, but I would say the technology is so far advanced in these videos that we can't explain how it's doing what it's doing.
This is the meat. This is the nut is opened up and the kernel is here, and I'm the captain. That information is like opening the can up.
That's right. Why didn't the U.S. Navy videos, the Senate Intelligence Committee? That's tangible. 3 or 4 things else have happened which are worthy of note here. Firstly, the U.S. Navy issued instructions to its own pilots telling them what to do if they encounter these things.
Which are what?
That's classified. They confirmed that they issued
either run or fight.
But now they could actually speak. Let me finish. This is important. So they've confirmed that those instructions have been issued, but they have not confirmed what they will say. In parallel with that, the Senate Intelligence Committee just put into the Intelligence Appropriation Act for fiscal year 2021 this demand for a report from Director of National Intelligence, and in response to that, a body called the UAP Task Force, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, and they released a list of 38 technical studies that they did as part of this program. Anti-gravity, wormholes, warp drive, but here's the smoking gun. There was a paper on the Drake equation. Now, the only purpose of the Drake equation is to estimate the number of communicable civilizations in our galaxy.
In 1961, radio astronomer Frank Drake proposed a mathematical argument for the likelihood of the existence of intelligent extraterrestrial life in the galaxy. Frank Drake developed an equation that took the probability of different things happening, having the right type of sun, having the right type of planet, how many planets and stars there were, and made an estimate of how likely life would be.
Drake equation would seem to logically predict tens of thousands of civilizations out there that we ought to be able to hear on radio traffic.
this. There are factions that probably think it's Russia, or it's China, or it's our own tech. And so it's not Russia and China. Otherwise, the Drake equation...
I don't know whether I'd heed the sigh of relief or, holding my breath.
Let me add to this. Up until recently, if a pilot saw and reported a UFO, it was the end of his career. Right? They decided he was nuts or whatever and wasn't trustworthy, or it was something you didn't talk about. The new protocols are, while there may be pieces that are classified to it, the deal is if you see something, you have to say something to us, because if these things are flying around in our airspace, we need to know about it.
They destigmatized it.
Yeah, that was the point.
I think that ancient aliens has enabled the world to talk about these topics in a more open fashion. I think that a discussion of the extraterrestrial question, the way it is conducted today, was not possible 15 years ago. I mean, there's someone at this table who have been following this, including myself, for 25 plus years. I think that ancient aliens was the reason for this paradigm shift, that we blazed the trail for these discussions to go on right now, and for more people to come on board with these ideas. So I think that ancient aliens has been part of disclosure.
I think it's utterly fascinating. And, you know, we've been at this discussion so beautifully and so connectedly. I feel like I've known you all my life. So the through line that I started our discussion was convince me. What I'd like to tell you is, and I got a chill just thinking about it, is that I feel, I believe much more now about what you purportedly think of as ancient aliens. I am beginning to understand more why people of your intelligence and education believe that this to be true. I understand that more completely now. I am so grateful that you imparted to me, and hopefully to the audience watching the show, this passionate information in all its various forms that you all individually believe. It smacks of passion, it smacks of truth, it smacks of intrigue, it smacks of complexity and a mystery that is unexplained. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ancient hammer of an incredible age.
The hammer was found in sandstone that takes about 140 million years to form. Who was here 140 million years ago?
Strange figures of unknown origin.
The Sanxingli humanoid statues have really striking features that are unlike anything that has ever been excavated.
A sophisticated computing device recovered from a 2,000-year-old shipwreck.
They actually said it was like finding a jet plane in the tomb of King Tut.
Throughout the world, artifacts have been found that defy explanation. Is it possible that they were purposely left behind by alien visitors?
All these so-called impossible artifacts that have been found worldwide all of a sudden become very possible if you take into consideration the extraterrestrial question.
There is a doorway in the universe. Beyond it is the promise of truth. It demands we question everything we have ever been taught. The evidence is all around us. The future is right before our eyes. We are not alone. We have never been alone. Cape Canaveral, Florida, February 21st, 2019. SpaceX, a private aerospace company, launches a Falcon 9 rocket carrying an Israeli spacecraft called the Parachute including a full copy of the English language Wikipedia.
The Lunar Library is a multi-billion-year artifact that we designed to send a message of our civilization's history to whoever inhabits our solar system in the deep future. The Lunar Library contains 30 million pages of human history, culture, knowledge, art, science.
On April 11th, 7 weeks after the launch, the lander reaches its destination. But as it descends towards the lunar surface, Bereshit's gyroscope fails, and the main engine shuts off, causing the lander to crash on the moon. While the lander is likely destroyed, its cargo, the Lunar Library, was built to be nearly indestructible and is thought to have survived.
We used quartz crystal that is incredibly durable to last 14 billion years. There are 25 different layers. The top 4 layers consist of 60,000 analog images of pages of text, photos. Below that are 21 layers of digital information. The analog layers teach important information to get the digital information off the deeper layers.
Storing this record of human history on the moon means that once, if and when our planet is destroyed, as something happens and all of our records are wiped out, there is something in a place that has stood the test of time for 4 billion years.
In addition to providing a record of humanity that will survive for potentially billions of years, the project has another, less conventional motivation.
We were interested in retracing the steps of potential ancient aliens. If they were ancient aliens and they were preserving a message for us to find, what would they have done?
For ancient astronaut theorists, the mission is a milestone event, and one that is long overdue. As far as they are concerned, what humans have now undertaken with the Lunar Library is exactly what extraterrestrials did on Earth thousands of years ago.
The question is always, well, where is the evidence? Where is the evidence? Well, all you have to do is open your eyes.
It's everywhere. Throughout the world, countless mysterious artifacts have been discovered that defy any conventional explanation. And while skeptics may insist that proof of alien visitation could only come in the form of some highly advanced technology, ancient astronaut theorists suggest even the most mundane items can serve as evidence. In fact, in 1936, a local couple in London, Texas, were walking along a creek when they came upon one of the most puzzling ancient artifacts ever found: a hammer.
It was a prehistoric hammer, if you will, with part of the handle still in place inside some very old rock. And part of the handle actually is starting to go through a process called coalification. It's where you have inorganic material and organic material changing into coal. Now, how old is this hammer? The hammer itself was found in the Travis Formation. It's a concretion of sandstone. And it usually takes about 140 million years for this to form. Who was here 140 million years ago?
Modern day archaeology suggests that we've only been around for about 10,000 years. So this falls into the category of out-of-place artifacts. Around the world, there are so-called out-of-place artifacts, commonly referred to as UPARTs. And those UPARTs are challenging mainstream archaeology because they do not fit into the accepted chronology of what mainstream science says.
Could a 140-million-year-old hammer really have been discovered in Texas? Skeptics argue that the couple who came upon this hammer must have been mistaken about where they found it. But could there be so-called impossible artifacts whose authenticity is beyond question? Egypt, Valley of the Kings, November 1922. British archaeologists Howard Carter and Lord